Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So I have something special for you guys today. Per a suggestion from a friend slash coworker, I'm gonna start a little mini series about makeup, the basics of makeup. So each and every step and detail and item of a full beat have its own individual video, and I'm gonna try to keep it as short and simple as possible for those amongst us who have no idea anything about makeup. So I'm gonna cover foundation, I'm gonna cover concealer, I'm gonna cover highlighting and contouring, highlighter versus highlighting, every single step, eyeshadows, powders, primers, every step, every single thing that you need to know about makeup, I'm gonna cover it individually. So the first thing I want to start with is foundation. Believe it or not, there is a slew of people out here who don't know what foundation is. So, in layman's simple terms, foundation is exactly what it sounds like. It's the foundation. The idea of foundation is to give you a blank canvas. That's your skin tone, your skin color, or the closest thing to it. Well, this is an older Kat Von D foundation that I have, and this is an example of a liquid foundation, and you pump it, or like this is one of my favorites, and this is a Clinique foundation, and this like has a big doe foot applicator, kind of like a concealer, which is pretty rare for foundation. And then this is my Juvia's Place foundation that comes in a squeezy tube, so you just squeeze it out. All of these are liquids. Now, I don't use powder foundation, but powder foundation basically comes in a compact that opens up most of the time with a little mirror. So foundations come in liquids, creams, powders, and sticks. This is an example of, this is like my professional palette, but this is an example of cream foundation, and it's like a liquid except not. So it's in between a powder and a liquid. And so cream foundation is typically for people with drier skin. But there's also formulas where cream foundation can dry to powder, so it's cream to powder. There's also liquid to powder. But anyway, you can choose. It really doesn't make a difference. Most people do liquid. Liquid is the easiest thing, then cream, and then powder. But you can decide for yourself what you want. And then there is, I don't have any powder foundation because I guess people use foundation, but who uses powder foundation? But this is an example of stick foundation. Cream is in between powder and stick foundation is in between powder and cream. But this is an example of a stick foundation. So we have sticks. Okay, stick foundation is a little bit harder. Most of the time, a good stick foundation, like the Juvia's Place one, smooths out and blends easily. This is an example of liquid foundation. This is an example. So it's liquidy, it drips. This is liquid foundation. This is cream foundation. And then you have powder. The idea of foundation is to give you a completely blank slate. There, of course, are steps like highlighting and contouring that comes after, but foundation completely takes away any definition in your face. So that it gives you a totally blank, smooth, clear canvas, if you will, to start with. So you can begin to do the art of your face, that is makeup. So that's a little bit about foundation. Essentially, foundation always goes with a powder, which we'll talk about later. Foundation always goes with concealer. So think of it this way. think of an art canvas. When you're at Wine and Design or wherever you are, think of an art canvas. When you want to paint on a canvas, it has to be clear, white, or whatever color it is. No lines. No, you cannot paint a painting over a painting. You can't paint over already their artwork. So it's the same, essentially, it's the same concept with your face. Our faces has blemishes, acne, indentation, sometimes discoloration. It has, like for me, I have dark circles around under my eyes and even on my eyelids. If you have pimples and scars and all of these things, the idea of foundation is to totally cover those things up and give you a blank slate, a blank canvas, and something clear, clean, and crisp to paint on. So that's a little bit about what foundation is, the types of foundation there is. Now, foundation, I do want to go into a little bit. Stick foundation, anybody, all of them can be for anybody. I would say powder foundation should be for those with oilier skin, because like me, I have drier skin. So me putting on a powder foundation, it's just going to make me flaky. It's going to make me even more dry. Now, sometimes you can double up and use a powder foundation to put on top of a liquid to maybe set it or something, but that's typically what setting powders are for. The liquids are the easiest to use. It's the most popular, in my opinion. It's what most people use. It spreads easily for the most part. It gives a more even skin tone as long as you're doing it right. The cream is also really smooth and creamy. A lot of the time, cream foundations can be a little bit more opaque. So foundations come in light coverage, medium coverage, and full coverage. So for an example, all of my foundations are full coverage because I believe in a total beat down of the face. If I'm going to wear makeup, I'm going to do it. But essentially light coverage is maybe just like a BB cream or CC cream or something like that. Light to medium coverage is typically liquid or a liquid foundation or something like that. That's light, a natural look, not like a totally new painted face, but it's pretty natural. Most of the time you can build them up to be more of a full coverage. And then full coverage is full on a new face, a whole new canvas. It's just like painting over your face, which is what I like, because if I'm going to do makeup, I want to do it all the way, baby. But that's just me. Most people do prefer a medium coverage because it's a little bit more wearable. It's a little bit more natural. It's a little bit more subtle. So that's a little bit about foundations. That, my friends, is Foundations 101. And I'll come back and do Foundations 102, which is how to shade match, the do's and don'ts of shade matching. That's all I have for now. Stay tuned for Foundation 102.